The empire that Ellen DeGeneres has built for herself over the past few years continues to crumble in real time. And it's very interesting to watch the way the media is covering this. I feel that it's very different than what it would have been 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I feel they would have been a little bit more cautious to say anything negative about her. But that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And I think that has a lot to do with the shift in the way people see celebrities. This Forbes article actually talks about that. The dramatic fall of Ellen DeGeneres marks a shift in the way we see celebrities. Celebrity cultures really just become toxic. I think the shift really started during the first lockdown. And you really saw just how out of touch celebrities were when that happened. They were all singing songs and desperate for spotlight, it seemed almost. And they really came off as out of touch as they were talking about how hard it was to live like this, but they were doing it from gigantic mansions. I mean, look at the background in Ellen's house right there. You know, do you think the average person can afford a house like that? No. So when she says that she feels like she lives in a prison, it doesn't sit well with regular people. This is really the beginning of the end for celebrity culture. And when you take into fact that reports are saying you might not see new movies or shows for a whole year, I think the wheels are going to come off of this thing. But as far as Ellen goes, it's interesting to watch more people come forward. We got a new story from a couple of ex-producers coming forward, particularly one very disgruntled one, that talks about how she acted on set. So there's an interesting story here. Ex-producer of Ellen DeGeneres' show says she was aware of abuses on set and once giggled when an executive screamed at staff. Very interesting story here. She told The Wrap, "I had never seen this before. I had never been around a toxic host." She was hired by current executive producer Andy Lasner to work on the show, but less than 2 years later, she was allegedly pushed aside for a younger and less experienced producer before eventually being let go. The former employee was also claimed Ellen witnessed executive producer Ed Galvin scream at a crew member. She alleged he just went off on them. His whole face turned red. We were stunned. I was waiting for Ellen to say something like, "Whoa, Ed, don't talk like that." Do you know what she did? She giggled. She crossed her legs up on the chair and said, "Well, I guess every production needs their dog." And from then we knew Ed was going to be the barking dog, her dog. That kind of lines up with stuff that's come out and stuff that I've said before, that there's no way she had no idea what was going on. It's her show. I mean, the fact that she would just be clueless on the work environment that was being fostered on her show and her set just doesn't sound right. She's not blind to everything. So it's interesting to hear reports like this. And I think more are going to come out. But this does not look good for her. But apparently she's going to come back. According to this report, the talk show is slated to return to the airwaves on September 9th, despite recent claims of a toxic workplace culture. She's going to climb out of her rabbit hole to try to come back and just pretend like everything's fine. Really interesting. Oh, can you imagine the set? If she goes back to the actual set, I don't know if they'll do the whole distancing show thing where they do it from home or not. Oh, can you imagine the fear on that set? Because she's going to walk on there furious, her face all red, fists balled up, just fire in her eyes. Probably going to be like throwing things at people. I don't know about that, but ooh. Or maybe she'll show up with a bunch of baskets of like food and candy and fruit and try to apologize to everybody. I think she's going to step down. I don't think she's going to just not come back for a little while. I think she will return eventually, and then she's going to step down. The James Corden rumor is still in the air. In fact, there's another article on it I want to go over in a second, but I think that she'll come back for a minute and then step down just to try to save face a little bit, because if she were to just quit right now out of nowhere, despite how bad her brand is being damaged right now, it would look even worse. So I think September 9th is a whole month away. That's enough time for this to maybe die down. It depends on how many people come forward still. There's still a whole month. People are coming forward every day. It seems like every day. Like, I'm going over another bunch of stuff today that's come out, and I feel like there'll probably be more tomorrow. People are just going to keep coming forward, because I can go back to this Forbes article real quick here, and there's a tweet right here from Dan Sheehan. This is from October 7th, 2019. When you move to LA, the first two things that happen are you get a parking ticket, and someone who once worked for Ellen will tell you a story about how she's a monster. Okay? And that seems to be the big consistent rumor, that she's a POS. And nobody likes her, and she's just rude to everybody. That comes back to bite you. And it looks like it's coming back to bite her now, especially while she's down. People like kicking people when they're down. It's kind of terrible, but that culture is savage. Celebrity culture, Hollywood culture, the media, it's all savage. When you're down, they're going to come for you, and they're going to rip you. They're going to rip you apart, and that's exactly what's happening right now. People are coming back to her, going after her. She's kind of getting her up and comings, it seems, because you can see it with this. So her ex-wife, or no, not her ex-wife, her current wife, Portia de Rossi. She tried to get this going. I stand by Ellen. Hashtag I stand by Ellen. Be kind to one another. She comes out and she breaks her silence. This is what she puts, I suppose, over on Instagram. And I checked Twitter, and some people are using it, but not many. We're all those Ellen fans. There was actually really funny. I don't want to pull the account up because I don't know if it's a bot or a real person. I say that because literally it was just going around and tagging the I stand by Ellen hashtag like 50 times yesterday on random posts. And then there were a couple other people, like maybe 4 or 5 people that had like positive stories about Ellen, but a lot of them were like mocking, where are all them Ellen fans at? Where you at, Ellen fans? Like, nobody's coming out in support of Ellen. And usually you can do a hashtag like this and people will simp on it, particularly given Ellen's political leanings. You think they would come out to defend her, but nobody is. This is a dead hashtag. Like, nobody is coming out to support her. It really shows you just how likable she really is, huh? I don't think she has much support. You're nasty to people. This is what happens. And what's funny is now the replacement host, James Corden, this guy who's rumored to be the successor to Ellen's talk show, apparently he's just as much of a bully as her. Got an article like this here. James Corden accused of being a bully after Ellen DeGeneres' empire topples over. Bunch of people sharing stories. This Louis Peitzman here being a little sarcastic, famously kind James Corden. You got people sharing stories like this one. Never forget the story about him ignoring his wife on a plane who was struggling with their very young child. Kid was crying and screaming the whole flight. Corden sat away from both of them, ignoring the cries and not helping with the bags. Seems like a really nice stand-up guy. Got some more here. Met at the stage door after seeing the History Boys. He was crude and embarrassed me when I was mentioned wanting to meet another cast member that I had seen in another show. Not a fan. Some more stories. Corden literally showed up to a WGA meeting unannounced, wants to advocate for lowering late-night writers' salaries, and so on and so on. There's more. So it's like you're just going to replace one bully with another, I guess. I don't know. Just interesting to watch this play out. And I think there will be more as time goes on. We'll see. I don't think this story is going to slow down. I expect more people to come out and share Ellen stories. You're going to see a lot of Ellen stories come up for her. At the end of the day, I think that she'll probably be able to get away from this unscathed. I think she's going to pull a Jimmy Kimmel and kind of hide out. She'll come back September 9th, and they'll fill it out. They'll see how it goes. You know, is this going to really affect ratings? And if ratings tumble, that'll probably be it for her. And she'll have to go away for a couple months, and then come back with something else. So we'll see what happens. But celebrities, nobody feels bad for them anymore. They've been, this past couple of years, the way that they've been acting with their TDS, they've just annoyed, I think, a lot of people. And it seems that time is up for celebrity culture. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Also, if you would, please throw a like up, share the video, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.